Hey there and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into something that's at the very heart of programming, data types. You can think of them as the basic Lego bricks of code. They're the pieces you use to build pretty much everything.
So let's just jump right in with a little pop quiz. What do you get when you add 33 and 2? Easy, right? Any calculator could handle that in a split second.
Well, what if I told you that a computer running a Python program might spit out this answer? 332. That seems totally wrong, doesn't it? But here's the thing. It's not a bug. And figuring out why this happens is the secret to understanding how programming really works. To solve this little mystery, we have to learn to see information the way a computer does. And, spoiler alert, it's not always the way you'd expect. You see, the secret is that Python has different specialists for handling different kinds of information. I mean, you wouldn't hire an electrician to fix your plumbing, would you? It's the same idea here. Python uses specific data types for specific jobs.
So first up on our team of specialists, we have the text handler. This character here represents what's called the string data type, and its job is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A string's job, we call it string for short, is to manage anything that's text. And the big giveaway, the thing you always have to look for, is the quotation marks. If you see something wrapped in quotes like hello or even hashtag code, boom, you're looking at a string. It's how Python remembers names, sentences, you name it. Okay, next up, let's meet the number cruncher of the group. This is the integer, and it's our expert for all things related to whole numbers. The integer, or int, is your go-to for counting things. It deals with whole numbers. They can be positive, they can be negative, but the one rule is no decimal points allowed. So think of a score like -5 or the number 42. Just clean, simple, whole numbers. But what happens when we really need that precision? When we need the numbers after the decimal point? Well, for that, we call in our third specialist, the float. A float can represent any number that has a decimal point, and that's absolutely vital when you need to be precise. This is what you'd use for things like prices, $19.99, or for measurements like pi, which is 3.14. The rule is super simple. If you see a decimal, it's a float. Okay, so we've met our three specialists: string for text, integer for whole numbers, and float for decimals. But how does this explain our original wacky math problem? Well, it all comes down to what I call the string disguise. Just imagine your program asks a user for their age, using a command that looks something like this. The person types in a number, and you want to use that number for some math. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
But here's the secret handshake of programming, the thing you absolutely have to remember. That input function we just saw, it plays it safe. It has no idea if you typed numbers or your name, so it treats everything it gets as text. It always gives you back a string. So take a look at this. When a user types the number 33, Python doesn't see a number. It sees the text characters 3 and 3 and stores it as the string 33. You type 2.52, Python sees the string 2.52. No matter what you enter, it always arrives wearing that string disguise. So, if all our numbers are showing up dressed as text, how in the world do we ever do any math? Well, this leads us to a crucial skill that every single programmer has to master: the great conversion. We have to be explicit. We have to tell the computer exactly what to do. So the user types 33, and it gets stored as a string. But our goal is to do math. So we use a special function, in this case int function, to convert the string 33 into the integer 33. It's only after we do that conversion that the computer can do the math correctly and give us 35.
And that brings us right back to where we started. On the left, when you try to add two strings together, Python doesn't do math, it just glues them together end to end. That's a process called concatenation, and it's how we got 332. But on the right, once you've converted them to integers, that very same plus sign now means actual mathematical addition. The data type changes what the plus sign does. Now, this whole thing might seem like a tiny little detail, but I promise you, getting this right is one of the most fundamental parts of programming. So let's quickly recap why this is so important. The biggest thing to take away here is that computers are not mind readers. They are incredibly literal. They do exactly what you tell them to do and nothing more. So it's your job to tell the computer what kind of data it's looking at. If you treat a number like it's text, you're gonna get weird results. That's why learning how to convert that input is one of the first and most important skills for any new coder.
So we've covered text, whole numbers, and decimals, but that's really just scratching the surface. It kind of leaves us with a fun question to think about. To really model our complex world, what other kinds of information do you think a computer needs to be able to understand? Thanks for joining me.